we're dealing with the issue of domestic violence and abuse today.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, I know that you know somebody who is suffering abuse. You probably could be suffering abuse, and you may not even know how to identify.
Exactly, and that's what we want to do today.
Yeah, so today we want track and open it up, and find out why people, suffer abuse, why people feel that they have a need to abuse other people.
It's really nice to know that we can bring this topic up and actually bring up this disclosure and really expose it. Because in my study of this issue of abuse and domestic violence, I stumbled on something that I call Eve teasing. Never had it before.
Yeah,
I guess how women are teased, how men tease women. And there were two experiments that were carried out actually. One was in India, as a matter of fact, two cities in India, Mumbai and Delhi. Another one was held in Peru, South America. And the one in Peru, let me first of all talk about the one in Peru, was put together by a company that does boxing gear. They're called Everlast.
Okay, Everlast.
Yes, and this is what they did. They identified some women abusers, and then they said to themselves, okay, we'll get their mothers to make up as women, and then we'll put the camera. We'll put them on the street and put the cameras on them. So they knew these guys, specifically over time. So they got their mothers totally made up, all the stills, the makeup, all the hairdo, and then they put the mothers on the street. So the mothers were catwalked and then these guys began to tease their mothers. They didn't know it was their mothers.
Wow.
And then the mothers would look back, and then they would see that it's their mother, and then the mom would say, "This is how I raised you." And then the mothers would begin to beat them up on the street, and that is a sign that abuse. That's a type of abuse, okay? When men tease women. The other one that held in India was held in two cities. This one was particularly interesting because there were two groups of people: the people that were teasing the women, and people who walked all around and did nothing about it. Which really is one of the problems I think we need to look at.
These are the passers-by.
Yes, passers-by. They didn't do anything about it. What were these guys doing? They went to these ladies and said, "Give me your phone number. I like you." They'll pull them. Now this is beginning to happen in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Yeah. Where men will just pull ladies and just say, "Hey, I like your face."
It happens in the market.
It does happen in the market. Just go and say, "I like you." And some will even go far to say, "Well, can I have your number?" And people will just pass by and say nothing's happened. These actually are manifestations of abuse. Okay, you may look at it in a miniature measure, but really it's abuse of son. Yeah. And I think these are some of the things that we need to look at. Basically, the problems show two things showing this. Number one, the indifference of the onlookers. Number two, the non-disclosure of the victims. And I think these are issues that we need to look at today. Why would someone who is so abused not want to disclose? Because there is a danger in not disclosing. And these are some of the things I will be looking at.
I'm sure already you're all, hooked onto this because everybody knows somebody who is suffering abuse somewhere.
Right.
And, like I was telling you privately, I said I have a friend of mine who is suffering, very severe abuse in her relationship. And,
right.
and she told me something. She said if she leaves this guy, because I couldn't understand it. And I said, "Why are you with this guy?" And she said, "If I leave him, I will die."
Wow.
And frankly, after that, I didn't know what to say. I mean, if I say leave and then you leave and then now die, what do will I say that so I got confused. And I really believe that, this is really going to help. So what are your personal, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, just like you're saying that you know someone. We know a couple of people, and like everyone knows someone who is going through some of this experience. As a matter of fact, I read of one instance on Facebook about a woman who was brutalized by her husband.
Wow.
I mean, to the point that she even cuts her face with a knife and said, "Next time I'm going to kill you." And women hear that all the time. Although I want to say that domestic violence is not gender sensitive. It's not gender centric. Okay? It's women to get men to get abused by women.
Yeah.
But it's not that the proportion. Okay, it's more on the women's side. So if there might be somebody there who is a man who's been abused by his wife or by some woman folk. We understand that you are also part of the people we're trying to help today. But we're just saying that a lot more women, okay, are victims than a lot more men.
Yeah.
And then there's also the story of a father, and this happened in the UK, who separated from his wife, and then for many years the wife had custody of the child went to a foster parent, for a foster home. And then eventually the man filed for the custody of the child, and they gave him the child after so many years. The child was 4 years old. One day the man took the child, got angry, the child did something, and he beat her to death.
My goodness.
He actually literally killed the child, murdered the child. Right now, well, he's been sentenced right now, but I'm just trying to say that even fathers abuse children. Husbands abuse wives, wives abuse friends, it's really, really a sad thing, and it's really, really a troubled world. And I just hope today that we'll be able to provide answers to these people. Let me start by giving a foundational scripture like I always do, and it's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 5. I also read John 13, verse 34. Looks like we are doing a lot of 13s today.
Yes.
And John 13:34 says, "A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another." And so the key word there is love one another. And the second scripture is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 6. And again, it speaks of love. It says, "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud." Now listen to this. "It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs." If you know the basis for most domestic violence, you'll find that it has a lot of anger. It has a lot of selfishness. As a matter of fact, these are fundamental root causes of abuses and domestic violence. Selfishness. And you can see, so when someone manifests selfishness, you see that there is no love in that. That person doesn't love, and that is in contrary to God's instruction. If someone does not love, it cannot but be violent. It cannot but be abusive. All right. If someone cannot control his anger or her anger, she cannot but be abusive. She cannot but be violent.
I need to ask you this. I know we've not read the question and answer.
Right. No, but
we generally use the word abuse.
Right.
But I wanted us to break it down a little bit, and I want to ask this. Are there different types of abuse?
Oh yeah, there are different types of abuse. As a matter of fact, you can tell abuse is categorized in about three. There's emotional abuse, there's domestic violence, and then there's the one I spoke about, which is eve teasing, which is it's like a graduation. You pick on people, just like bullies, But in this case, it has an intention to subdue, or to take the liberty or the pleasure of the other person. So you have eve teasing, and then you have domestic violence. And then you have emotional abuse. Now, emotional abuse is it's a bit subtle, and this is how it comes. Verbal attacks, hard criticisms, favoriting one person above the other, even among parents, even among friends. People, when you see that's emotional abuse, because one person begins to feel inferior, the other person you make the other person feel better. And every time someone feels a lack of self-worth, okay, it's an abuse. It doesn't matter whoever is doing it, okay, it's an abuse. So you have that. Then you have manipulations. People manipulate the other person. People manipulate friends. Friends manipulate the other people. It's like that. And then they have deceit. Then you have threats. I'm going to do this. I'm really going to do this. Next time you do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you this. And so those are all those things. And then you have sometimes also withheld expression of love. And it can come in different ways, okay? Spouses, especially among spouses, just the woman decides, "I'm going to starve you of sex," okay? That's an abuse.
Yes.
All right. The man decides, "I'm going to starve you of attention," okay, and care. That's abuse, okay, and that's emotional. Now, that's not overtly sin, but it does not remove the intensity of its impact on the victim.